Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Warcraft Weekly. We just finished the third week of Season 4. So, last week, we were in Emirdrasil, doing the raid. Went pretty well. I didn't end up getting my seedling trinket from a drop, which is fine. I'm not too worried about having complete bis for raid this season, just because of it being faded and everything like that. But raid went well, managed to full clear heroic again, and then start working into some mythic bosses. For mythic plus, we are at 2772 for score. If you can see here on the Tyrant, I got at least a 10 for every single dungeon, so I've got all my portals now, and started pushing into the sort of 12 range for keys, and we're going to slowly keep working on getting higher keys done. With that, got a lot to learn for how to heal fights better and all that sort of stuff. Okay, that guy's just there. For gear last week, we bought the Rage Heart and fully upgraded it, and I finally got the super OP even post nerf Tome of Unstable Power that pretty much every person that can use it wants. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. Let me see if I have anything. Neltharis isn't like the best for it, but you can see Arcane Barrage still did about 16% of my damage for that key. Let me see. I don't really have a better key in here to show. So yeah, that was last week. Still only playing the monk. I don't know if I want to even go onto other healers. We'll kind of see how I feel. Since I'm trying to push into higher keys, it's probably better to stay on a single character and learn that better. Let's head over to the vault now. We do have a full vault. Let's get this open and see what we got this week. Okay. Alright. We've got Mythic Ring. That is really bad for Mistweaver because it's big mastery. Got Heroic Chest Piece, which I already have. Rashox, which is not a super great trinket anymore since it got nerfed. We've got Mythic Pants, which would be an upgrade from my Hero Pants. We would catalyze those and get those upgraded. Got Mythic Gloves, which would be an upgrade from my Hero Gloves. Stats on it aren't great though. And catalyzing it. Gloves for this tier set that we have are the worst for stat weights for Mistweaver. I think it's big mastery. And then we have a single hand sword, which I'm not really going to use. So I think we're going to go with the pants this week. Get another mythic track for my tier set and just slowly start getting more stats for that. All right. So this week we have quite a few things to go through. So we are, for raid, going back to the Vault of the Incarnates. Should be much easier than the first week, obviously, because you have more gear, hypothetically, at least. Things I would want from this raid, Tarot Staff, and also this Death Snare Trinket. I think are the biggest things from here. Obviously, any tier piece would be good. This neck is pretty good. Yeah. So for Mythic Plus, we have Fortified, Afflicted, Raging. So Fortified week, non-boss enemies are stronger. Afflicted, this is the Dispel or Heal the full one. Usually you just dispel it. It's not super hard to deal with. There might be some instances where it pops up and you're already trying to do a dispel. Let's say you're dispelling like a poison from Brackenhide or some of the debuffs in Halls of Infusion, and this pops up, then you're going to have a bit of a struggle, but anyone with a dispel can dispel this. It doesn't have to be a improved dispel. It can be any type of dispel. So you should be able to have some help with that. My opinion, depending on your class, it could feel easier than Incorporeal because some classes need to cast to get rid of Incorporeal, and Afflicted is dispels, and all dispels are insta-casts. So that is a plus side for that. Then we have Raging. So this makes non-boss enemies enrage at 30%. Health remaining. This could be difficult in some areas of dungeons. Anything where there is a cast or a stop that needs to happen. You can soothe this off for a second. I do believe it comes back after a certain period of time. So like Oldemon, you have some casts that you really need to stop, especially on fortified weeks. I can't remember what it's called. It's the like rock AoE cast that some of the smaller guys do. So you'll need to figure out how to stop that. And also Nokud has some casts, the Tempest, which does a lot of damage, and you'll need to be able to either nuke down those types of mobs. There's some in Ruby Life pools also. You'll either need to nuke down the mobs or be able to soothe them and then CC them. So this week we will have the weekly, just like the first time. We'll do the Feast, Hunt, and the Dragonbane Keep scenario. You'll get your Spark. And we also have a Time Walking cache for this week. 493 Awaken Piece. We're doing 5 Time Walking. This is a really good one if you have alts that you're starting to get. That would be a really good thing to remember to do. And then this week we have a leftover Boolean from last week. If you are all caught up with your Booleans, and we will get one from doing raid bosses this week, so you will be able to buy another Boolean item. For Mistweavers, I would recommend, if you still don't have a weapon or you're kind of out of other things to buy, the Tarot Staff is good. Maybe wait until after raid to buy it, if you're going to be able to do that on Mythic. I also have seen people using the Vakash weapon, the Mastery on your weapon, and needing to get an offhand are less ideal, but the damage proc might be worth it. I'm not 100% sure on that, because the Tarot Staff does have very good stat weights, especially for Mythic Plus. I will probably be looking at getting this staff or this trinket, this damage trinket, because I am missing a actual damage trinket like this one, and the Death Snare is very, very good for DPSing keys, which you don't need like your Rage Heart for, or if you have Ire, any key that doesn't really require those. Brackenhide is a good one usually for that. It will help you just blast a lot more damage if you don't need the extra survivability. And the final thing coming this week is the Mr. Pandaria remix, which is releasing this Thursday, May 16th. You will be going from level 10 through 70 at an accelerated rate, somewhere around 300%, I believe. You'll be able to do all the dungeons and raids and any quests that you want in Mr. Pandaria. This is not a classic Mr. Pandaria. This is a remix / experiment. They kind of equated it to the lines of Plunderstorm. Obviously, this is going to be more of the actual base WoW game, but there will be special loot with new powers. And because it's not a quote-unquote classic, you will have your dragonflight talent trees and talents and abilities for this event. During the event, you will be collecting a bronze currency to upgrade your items or get cosmetics. There are new and old cosmetics, I believe. So if there's any pieces from Mr. Pandaria, or you're a monk, for instance, and you really like Mr. Pandaria gear, this would be a really good way to get anything that you're missing. Or if there's some exclusive stuff that is returning, this is a way to possibly get that. At the end of the event, or sometime after the event, your character will be transformed into a regular dragonflight character before the release of the War Within. So during the event, it is a separate character that cannot be played in the dragonflight era. It is separated. But it will eventually be transferred over to a dragonflight character and be able to play in the actual game for potentially the end of the season in Dragonflight or pre-patch and going into the War Within. They said they will give some sort of amount of gear so that you are ready to just go straight into the War Within. I don't think it is. It could be directly related to how much gear you actually get in the remix. That is possible. Or you will just get a basic set, like essentially a boosted set. I think it's going to be higher eye level though than a boosted set when they do that. So this would be a really good way to level any alts that you haven't leveled, because it is going to be a very fast leveling. Or if you want to just make another of your main class and experience it with some special loot, with cool abilities or powers, this would be a fun way to do that, to collect some transmog if that sort of thing interests you. But yeah, that is all for this week, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.